Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, welcome back to my channel. Today we're deviating away from the short film norm, or is it a norm at this point if I just intersect them in between all my other content? Whatever, not the point. Today I want to talk about 5 movies that get me through my hard times. 2020 was a very tumultuous and awful year for everyone. I think I speak for us all when I say that it was gross. And I didn't appreciate it. I thought 2020 came up in here real disrespectful and disrespected all of us. And I think 2020 owes us all an apology. You just had to find the joy, the one thing that keeps you going. For some people, it may be their children or a loved one or their pet. Gemini is great. She got me through a lot of hard times. However, sometimes you need to turn to art. So I have 5 films that I routinely go to when I'm not feeling that great, and during 2020, that was a lot of time. But film is beautiful. It can make you feel good. It can make you feel comfort, especially if it's something that you've seen lots of times before, which is the case with me. And the movies that I have chosen were not made in the 21st century, so do with that information what you will. Without further ado, these are my 5 films that kept me from going crazy in 2020. The first one is Harriet the Spy. Oh yes, lovely, lovely Harriet the Spy, played by the one and only Michelle Trachtenberg, who is also Dawn from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. How do I know that? It's because I'm a Buffy fanatic. If you haven't seen all the Buffy stuff in the background of all my videos, then I don't know where you've been, but huge fan. The thing I love about Harriet the Spy is that she's a writer, and I'm also a writer, and at the time the movie came out, I was very, very obsessed with notebooks and having tons of notebooks. And I still have some notebooks from my childhood. I don't want to say childhood because I wasn't exactly a child. I was more like a teenager, like late teens, early 20s, but I still have lots of notebooks filled with embarrassing poetry and stories that I wrote when I was young, so I can look back at my younger self. Because like Harriet, I too wanted to write down everything and remember everything. And of course, it's a touching tale of friendship and how friends fall out of favor with each other, but then eventually realize friendship is an important thing and they truly love each other, and that Harriet shouldn't let writing get in the way of friendship. It's just a fun, feel-good movie, and I own the movie now on a DVD, but when the movie first came out, it came out on VHS. And Nickelodeon movies came out in those orange VHS tapes. So I had the orange VHS tape of Harriet the Spy. Those were the days. Very feel good. Second up is Clueless. I've seen Alicia Silverstone playing the mother in the Babysitter's Club series, the new reboot of the Babysitter's Club series. And I think they make a reference to Clueless in that movie twice. Well, it's not a movie, but they make 2 references to Clueless, which I very, very much appreciate.
This whole situation had spiraled out of my control, and that's a feeling I really, really hate.
I felt impotent and out of control, which I really hate.
So my mom might have weird taste in men, but when it came to life, I guess she wasn't totally clueless.
Because Clueless is my jam. Even though Cher Horowitz is like this rich snob who lives in like a really big house, she's not a snob, but she's rich and she's white and blonde, and she's like the last person in the world that I should ever relate to. But I relate to her so hard. When this movie came out, I was only 12 years old, and I felt like I was the target audience for this movie because I loved it when it first came out, and I love it now. And even though certain elements when it comes to technology haven't aged well, I think the sentiment and the feeling of the movie have definitely aged with the times. And it's just a cutesy, beautiful, cool little movie with hip little sayings. I mean, as if, no one was saying as if before Clueless came out. And maybe nobody says as if now, but they definitely weren't saying it at the time until that movie came out. I mean, Clueless coined that phrase. Thank you, Amy Heckerling, for all you've done for American cinema. The next movie, in no particular order, by the way, Men in Black. Why do I love Men in Black so much? Maybe it's because I like aliens. Maybe it's because I have this obsession with constantly thinking that we are not alone in this universe and that perhaps there's another planet and maybe there's human beings or some kind of beings from another part of the universe who came here and put us here to live here, and maybe they are really us and we are really them. I don't know, whatever. But the idea of thinking that, people are aliens, kind of a 90s thing. Nowadays, we're like, people are robots. I think that Elon Musk is a robot, and he had a baby to prove that he's not a robot. But robots can reproduce. We all know this. Robots can reproduce, okay? Okay, write that down. Somebody write that down. Robots can reproduce. Thank you. But I love Men in Black. I love the song. I just love Will Smith. And he did another alien related movie right after. It's like, geez, this guy can only be in movies where there's aliens. Okay, buddy. It's just a movie that makes me feel good. And if I'm sad or if I'm feeling blue, I pop in Men in Black. And then everything's just right in the world. Another movie that makes me feel good about things, The Girl Next Door. Emile Hirsch, Alicia Cuthbert, very, very great. I don't know, it really takes porn stars and humanizes them, I mean, they are a little bit objectified because they're, it's porn, but it takes pornography and makes it human. Pornography can be human. Can I say the word pornography on YouTube? Because I'm not really sure that I can say that. But I love the movie. I love, that senior year of high school, you're graduating. I was like Emile Hirsch's character in that movie. I had never cut class or done anything bad, and I was just looking back well, what am I going to remember? Am I going to remember that I was in the Spanish club? Do you know what we did in the Spanish club? We didn't speak Spanish. We went on field trips to theme parks with really scary roller coasters that I refused to ride because I was too scared. However, when things are seeming gloomy, I just pop in The Girl Next Door, and then everything is right in the world. Last, but definitely not least, a movie that I like to watch when I'm not feeling good and I want to feel better is Labyrinth. Let me just say that if any movie has Jim Henson Muppets in it, you're gonna have a good time, okay? Muppets are great, and Jim Henson's designs are freaking cool, so of course. And Labyrinth was directed by Jim Henson. And it's just such a great movie. I mean, yes, it's tragic because Sarah wishes away her stepbrother, and then she's like, oh, I better go get him because my parents are going to be really, really mad. But it's a fun movie. And plus, hello, David Bowie songs. Who doesn't like a good David Bowie song? I could just listen to the soundtrack by itself and already I'm in a better mood. I mean, look at that. Do you see that? You see that? That is a Labyrinth themed calendar. And the January photo is David Bowie. So hello, hashtag fan here. Also, shout out to WandaVision. I have been watching every week faithfully, and I'm not disappointed. I didn't always understand what was happening, but I feel like episode 4 really fleshed out a lot of things for me. So if you want to know more about that, sure, I'll talk about it. I'm not the biggest comic book fan or the biggest Marvel fan. I don't know everything. I didn't know who Billy and Tommy were until some guy in a YouTube video told me. I have no shame about that. It's totally fine. But those are the 5 movies that I watch when I'm sad. And that's it. Tell me in the comments below, what movies do you watch when you're sad? What makes you feel good? And mind you, these are movies that I have seen over and over and over again. So I already know what's going to happen and how they're going to make me feel, which is why I continue to revisit them. So what movies or TV shows do you watch when you're sad? What do you recommend for me? I mean, let's have a little dialogue in the comments section. Don't you guys want to talk to me and stuff? Let's talk to each other. Anyway, it's been real, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.